there is a critique to be had there of purely online organizing, because a lot of the Bernie stuff in the US and the Corbyn stuff here did go down that route, which is into a cul-de-sac of essentially permanently online echo chambers.
Mm.
So there is a criticism to be had there, which is if you're sitting online, mentally
Typing
running
around.
around with just a load of co-thinkers in basically a curated online space
Mm.
where the actual reality of the really existing working class doesn't intrude, then yes, you are in basically closed off, hermetically sealed bubble. And that's no good if you're actually a Marxist, because as Lenin, Stalin, Mao, all the people that Daniel doesn't like, did say at great length, unless you are in touch with the working class and know how to adapt communist politics to actually reach them, then you're not doing the job. So yes, there is a critique to be had there, but he doesn't make it. What he's talking about is like, oh, you can't join culture wars, you're tail ending the right wingers.
I don't know any of these people personally,
Mm.
but what I found is that they try to avoid that, but people constantly come after them for not being pro LGBTQ, or somebody called someone faggot, or Jackson Hinkle said something online. So then they react. And I'm not saying they react in the best way, but
Mm.
these aren't the oldest guys. They're constantly being wrapped in because that's the control. Yeah.
Yes. Wait,
And
yeah.
they are trying to get out of that. And I think what really pisses people like Daniel off, why are these guys not playing by the rules that I decide I have to play by?
Yeah, I think
It
you're exactly
upsets
right,
me.
which is, as we've discussed before, it's policing, it's discourse policing. You must remain within this narrow boundary or else, essentially. This is a very common thing across the imperialist countries because it comes back to who's the left run by and for. It's run by and for the primary class influence over it, which is who? Frustrated petty bourgeois intellectuals operating really on behalf of the bourgeoisie. Now, this is true in the United States. It's true in Britain. By the way, it's also true in France. Some Americans and some Brits like to think that France is different. It really isn't. They're suffering from all the same problems that the left parties and left formations do everywhere else. For all that France has a more militant tradition, the actual left parties are just as incoherent and dominated by petty bourgeois opportunistic thought as Americans and Brits are. It's just that the branding is different. We come into the same problem over and over again because there has been a concerted move on behalf of the ruling class, which is understandable, to destroy all aspects of working class politics whenever they emerge. And that includes destroying effective trade union organization, destroying effective communist parties, or subverting them by pulling them in to support either liberal parties like the Democrats or social democratic parties, which have basically long since given up on the social, which is like the Labour Party. The core of the issue is that nobody knows how to respond to, or nobody wants to respond to, this class war waged by the ruling class to extirpate class politics completely, except as defined by them. And what these people are doing, the Tutts and others, is essentially running around acting as the ruling class's intellectual policing agency.